Okay, I would like to start by giving a warm welcome to Caroline Nickerson. She's our special guest today. Caroline is a program specialist from SciStarter, where she assists with Citizen Science Month programs and SciStarter's corporate volunteer programs and other outreach efforts. Caroline has a PhD from the University of Florida where she worked on multiple projects, including a climate change communication project and certification for pollinator-friendly plants. She has worked with SciStarter in a variety of capacities, including as a senior program director, where she managed Citizen Science monthly programs, the corporate volunteer programs, and other outreach efforts, and with the SciStarter syndicated blog network. And she mentioned before we got started that she also now works with Colorado State University. So welcome, Caroline, and thank you so much for being our special guest.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be here. I'll go. This is going to be very interactive, so don't be shy. I know we're recording, so your remarks might get in the public record, but I'd still love to hear from you. But yes, I think everybody's in Kenosha, but feel free to introduce yourself in the chat if you'd like. I also know we got some verbal introductions too, so just very happy you all are here. We're coming together during a pretty momentous occasion for SciStarter. It's Citizen Science Month. So we're right at the tail end of it. It ran all through April. I mean, every month could be Citizen Science Month, right? But April is just our excuse to do as much citizen science as possible. I'll explain what citizen science is in a second, and what SciStarter is, and some of our goals for the month. We actually surpassed the goal already with 2.5 million acts of science in honor or in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the United States. Um, but yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the definitions, and then we'll get to our featured project, which is Journey North, all about monitoring migrations. And they actually have a few different campaigns that we'll get into, but monarch butterflies is my favorite. A note on this deck, I'm using a modified deck from a SciStarter live event back in 2022. I just wanted to note that because my colleagues worked really hard on it back then. I didn't want to take credit for their work. I did modify it to make sure it was updated for now, but they're the ones who had all these cute butterflies on the deck, so I was like, I have to give them credit. But yes, Marcia, thank you again for the intro. Yes, a little bit about me. I like to go through all these things in case I can be helpful to any of you for any of the things you do. I've worked with SciStarter for about 8 years now. SciStarter is the world's biggest citizen science database. We'll explain more on that in a second. But I'm also half-time at CitSci, which is part of Colorado State University, where it's a platform where you can start your own citizen science projects, as well as half-time at the Human Computation Institute, where there's a video game that you can play to help with Alzheimer's research. We're also building a way for members of the public to help prove unsolved mathematical theorems and all sorts of things. And then across Florida, I help students and community members build technologies to make Florida better, like a app to help with recycling. I do a lot of education work, so I keep busy, but I think it's really fun, and I get to spend my days helping people all around the world make the world a better place through science and technology and embrace their curiosity. So you can go to carolinenickerson.com if you're curious about any of the stuff I get up to. But I just wanted to see where we're at before we jump in. Have you participated in a citizen science project before? You can answer verbally, you can put it in the chat. I know Marcia's done a lot of citizen science. Do you want to share some of your favorites, Marcia?
Yeah, we at the library we try to do at least one a year, and we've been doing them. Oh, let's see, since 2020 for sure. I think I really loved the Great Sunflower Project. Um, mm, Crowd the Tap was a favorite of mine. I loved giving out packets and helping people learn about the pipes in their homes and potentially some programs that could help them change out their pipes if needed. So that was a favorite of mine. I think it was um, a really good one for our community. So yeah, I just I love all of them. Being able to do my little bit to help. Scientists get data that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get.
Oh, that makes me so happy. That's awesome. And I see that in the chat, some people haven't done it before, but that's a-okay. I see a yes. That's cool. Hey, like if you're super experienced, if you're not experienced, this webinar is for you. We're just happy you're here. Um, we've been saying this word citizen science a lot. You might be wondering, what on earth is it? Well, the way we define it at SciStarter is it's a collaboration between scientists and those of us who are curious, concerned, and motivated to make a difference. Or in other words, it's how people can make an impact on issues they care about and help science. I tend to think of citizen science as any way a member of the public, and members of the public, that's all of us, right? Anybody of any age from any background, how they meaningfully move science forward. So it's different from science education. Science education is great, learning about science. But when you're engaged in citizen science, you're actually doing real science. You are creating knowledge about the world. You are helping, shed light on something that hasn't had light shed on it before. Typically, it's by collecting or analyzing data, and data is just information. So it can be words and pictures. You can take pictures of different plants and animals and send those to researchers so they can understand, where their populations are doing well and where they might need some help. Or you can analyze that data, that information, by looking for patterns, like in the Stall Catchers project. That's an online project that I work with, where members of the public are able to play a game, and by playing that game, you find patterns and you catch stalled blood vessels. You help the Alzheimer's researchers understand different patterns relating to Alzheimer's disease and test different facets of it. Yeah, citizen science is all about doing real science, being part of the scientific process. SciStarter is the world's biggest citizen science database. So you can go to SciStarter and you can find a citizen science project for pretty much any type of science out there. You can help NASA find different comets. You can help biomedical researchers, design RNA-based vaccines. You can help eagle researchers know where bald eagles might be in danger. There's a citizen science project out there for every type of science and every person. So I always recommend making a SciStarter account so you can keep track of the different projects that you're joining across all these different platforms, because a lot of projects will have their own app or their own website. And if you keep track of all of them on SciStarter, that just helps you understand your own impact and find more projects that you like. And also for some projects that have gone the extra mile, the SciStarter affiliate projects, you can actually track the number and frequency of your contributions to these projects in your SciStarter dashboard. So that's my shameless plug for SciStarter there. We also have a training that you're welcome to do at your own pace. I know Marsha's done the training where you can get a badge, you can put it on your LinkedIn, or you can just print out the certificate, and it helps you build citizen science skills like collecting and analyzing that data so you can understand the world around you. You can turn your curiosity about the world into real scientific impact. So I always like to plug our training at scistarter.org/training. The reason I love SciStarter so much is like, we have all these different programs like Citizen Science Month or like the Girl Scouts badge or the partnership we have with Verizon. And the programs are all awesome. And it's been really cool seeing people report acts of science all month so we can get to this big shared global goal. But I really love the Project Finder because you can go to the Project Finder and like let's say you really love monarch butterflies, you can search monarch and you can find the Monarch Larva Monitoring Project, where you monitor patches of milkweed or upload your own observations, or Butterflies and Moths of North America, or the project we're getting into tonight, which is Journey North. And Journey North, like I said, it's not just monarch butterflies, but they are a big part of it. Understanding phenology, which is seasonal change, and wildlife migration over time. All these projects, even though you might be studying monarchs for all three, they're all asking different questions about monarch butterflies, and they're run by different people. So that's why they're different projects. But yeah, I really, really love Journey North, and I'm glad that we're all going to be able to dive into it. I wanted to show a video from the project itself about how to participate before we go on our own little adventure. So let me just make sure I share with sound. And I'll turn my camera off. So it's just 1 or 2 minutes. We'll watch it together just to get an initial intro, and then we'll go journey our Sci Starter profile, and we'll dive into some of my favorite parts about monarch butterflies. I've actually, when I was at University of Florida, I took a research trip. I was a research assistant, and we helped monitor the monarch butterfly migration down in Mexico. There are also citizen scientists on that trip. So the monarch butterfly migration that we're concerned about in North America starts off in Ongangueo, Mexico, and we were able to see all those monarch butterflies come out of hibernation and start making their way up. They go all the way across the continent, and then they come back down, which is pretty cool, all the way back to Mexico. But let's hear from Journey North really quick and get a broad overview of the project.
Hi, my name is Jacob Swanson, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to use Journey North, one of the easiest ways to get involved with monarch butterfly citizen science, as well as a couple of other species and different signs of the season like you can see here. But since we're talking about monarch butterflies, let's start with the monarch. First, you're going to need to head on up to the top of the page and click this registration button right here if you don't already have an account. Click that button and it will take you to a registration form here. Once you click registration form, you're just going to enter a first name, last name, a country, city, state, zip code, email address, and give yourself a password. There's a few additional questions that you can answer. If you want to add a phone number or you would like to answer any of the optional questions on the right side of the page, you can, but it's not necessary. So once you've done that, you can click register now and you'll have an account. After that, head on up to sightings at the top of the page and log in with your account. Once you're logged in, you'll be asked to select what you would like to log a sighting of. Since we're talking about monarchs, we'll click monarch butterfly here and then click continue. Now, once you have clicked continue, it'll default to what you set as your address. Mine is set as an old address here in Salt Lake City, but you can type in a new location up top. For this case, we'll say it's the UW-Madison Arboretum. And then you can move your little map dot to be more specific of where you saw a monarch egg, larva, adult, or milkweed. You can cite a adult your first of the year or any adult after that. Since I've already seen my first adult, I'll log this one as a subsequent one. Click the date, say how many I saw, and you can add a photo and then as many comments as you want to add, or you can even submit it without any comments. Comments are great because they can give us an idea of things like what species of milkweed or flower that a monarch is visiting, what the weather was like, which direction the monarch was flying. Then you click submit and you are all done. It's as simple as that. Once you've done that, you can go back to the sightings page and you can view all of your sightings by clicking on the My Sightings button here. Once you've done that, you can type in your email and it's kind of a fun way to track all of your sightings over the years. You can see when your first monarch sighting was from year to year, earlier, later each year. So that's kind of a neat feature. And then you go to maps and instantly, once you've submitted a sighting, your observation will appear on the map. So here we're talking about monarch adults sighted. I didn't actually submit it, so it won't show up on the map here. But once you're here, you can filter these sightings by a certain date. You can click play to watch the migration as it happened. You can click around the map to see the sightings that happened near you. Anytime that you submit your sighting, it will instantly appear on the map alongside all of the other monarch enthusiasts across the continent that are putting their sightings up. The ones with the little dot in the middle have photos, that little white dot. All of the others do not, but they may still have comments that give you a little bit of information, like this one of the kind of milkweed that the monarch was visiting. And you can kind of get a sense of what's happening around the world of monarch butterflies. We're looking forward to seeing you at journeynorth.org and reach out to us with any questions.
So I really like hearing from the project themselves too, because on the SciStarter side, we are, the connector. So we're connecting you to real science you can do, and we're connecting researchers to the communities that they need to get their important work done. So Journey North, I know, is grateful to work with us as a connector, but I like hearing from them directly as well. And I just love monarch butterflies. So yeah, the migration, it's probably, I know Marcia had mentioned before the event, y'all haven't really seen any monarch butterflies yet. That's a-okay. They're coming. We're getting into it, spring and fall. Just keep your eyes peeled. This is the basic map of how it works. So with monarch butterflies, there are four generations. So generation one wakes up in Angangueo, Mexico, so outside of Mexico City, and after hibernating for the winter, and then they start flying up north, and then that generation dies, and then in the southwest of the United States, they breed, and then another generation makes its way up until we get to the last generation. So they don't live for too long until the last generation, which they call the Methuselah generation. And those are the ones that make the whole journey back down to Mexico from up north. This is really interesting. This was something I learned back when I was a research assistant at University of Florida. They somehow age more slowly. We don't entirely understand how to migrate all the way back down. That's why they're called the Methuselah generation, because Methuselah in the Bible was very, very old. Um, there were some researchers who were on that trip I went on who were trying to understand that, and they're like, if we could figure out what they're doing, we could do it in humans, and we could live 4 times as long, just like the Methuselah generation. That's a little wacky to me. That's some Jurassic Park stuff. But there are people out there researching everything. But yeah, so monarch butterflies, I just think there are lots of reasons to study them. They're intrinsically beautiful. They're culturally significant. They make it in paintings. They're a big part of like Mexican culture, for example. Um, I also think that they're important too because they can be an indicator of climate change. So one thing I also learned while we were in Mexico is that the mountain range that they winter in, they're having to go further and further up the mountain each year because of climate change. Because as temperatures get hotter, they have a harder time finding an environment that's suitable for them to breed. So they're an indicator of climate change, which impacts us as well. So they're important to understand in that regard. Um, they're also important because they can be an indicator of, pesticide use or other problems. As pesticides kill milkweed, which is their main food source, we could also be hurt as well. So understanding monarch butterfly populations, which wouldn't be possible without citizen scientists like you, can help us understand how to stay healthier ourselves, in addition to how to help the monarchs. Um, I think one thing I always think of with citizen science is scientists don't have enough eyes, ears, and perspectives to know everything there is to know, to understand everything that needs to be understood, to answer every question that needs to be answered. That's why they need you. Especially as our world gets increasingly complicated and monarch butterflies and other creatures face hazards that they haven't faced before, you being the eyes and ears on the ground to understand what's happening in your community and then reporting it back to projects like Journey North so we get that whole picture, it makes us all better off. So thank you for wanting to be part of this. So you can see monarch butterflies, they love their milkweed. So if you want to help monarchs, you could plant some in your backyard. If you go to your local like nursery or Home Depot, I bet you can get some monarch-friendly foods from the folks there, or even your local extension office. I'm sure it could help you out. It's a great way if you have, are also at the library. I bet Marcia would be willing to put together a little pollinator-friendly garden to help our friends. But I'm just curious. I wanted to get a sense of the folks in the room. Do you all have any milkweed planted in your yard or your community garden or whatever green space you have access to? Marcia, what about you? What is the milkweed situation at the library right now? Oh, I see something in the chat. Jessica says, no, we do not. That's okay. You could also just find a friend and see if they could plant some milkweed somewhere. Anybody else want to share their milkweed situation?
We have milkweed planted at the Southwest Library in the Dewey Garden. And then a few years back, I want to say 4 years ago, I planted milkweed at my house to see. I just have a little urban house, and I wanted to see if I could get monarchs to come to my house. And lo and behold, yes, I grew milkweed and they come back every summer and they have been laying lots of eggs. So I was so excited the first time. I had like 8 or 9 caterpillars on one of my milkweeds. I couldn't believe it. I took pictures and showed my friends.
Oh, that's awesome. You're
Yeah.
being a positive milkweed influencer. I
Yeah,
love.
I keep telling everybody if you want to help monarchs, just keep planting milkweed and keep planting it because that's what they need. If they can't, they only lay their eggs on it. That's it.
Well, and also the fact that you have milkweed at the library, for everybody who's on the line here, all the folks local to Kenosha, that's a great place where you could try to participate in Journey North this year. And the more data, the better. So these projects get better the more frequently you do your monitoring. So if you go to the library a lot, maybe commit to go like once a week throughout the summer, you could make a point of going around the same time each week and trying to see, are there monarch butterflies at this time? And you saw in the Journey North demo, you can actually monitor your own contributions over time. So you could almost do your own self-study and understand if like on Tuesdays at, 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whenever you go, if monarch butterflies tend to be there. So that would be some good personal science there that's also contributing to the wider project. So just some food for thought. Let me go back. So you can see that Marcia mentioned caterpillars. We have our little caterpillar friends. And I thought this was a cool fact. Monarch caterpillars grow through 5 instars in about 2 weeks. So they grow pretty fast. So by, planting that milkweed and providing the habitat for them, they're going to grow pretty quickly. And Journey North is our featured project. So let's get into the, how we actually find it. So it's listed on SciStarter. And I'll put the link in the chat. And for those who are watching this recording later, you just go to scistarter.org/journey north. I'm going to save this project to my dashboard so I can keep track of it over time. And then I would just click visit. And you can see, so the cool thing about Journey North is monarch butterflies are obviously a big focus, as you keep hearing, but you can also track hummingbirds and other migratory species. So you saw how to submit the data. It's pretty easy. You just say like what you saw and where and what type of milkweed if you could. I thought it'd be cool to have us look at monarch adult sightings. I thought we could look at Kenosha. So let's go to view map. Um, and it's loading the observation, so we'll give it some time. There we go. Let's see what the situation is in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Oh wow, I'm not seeing. Maybe let's pick a different map. Okay, so explore maps. Explore data. So we'll be as broad as possible. And it's a lot of data here, so we'll have to be patient with it. Um, let's see. There are lots of things we could look at. Explore data, let's do maps. Okay, let's just do the first sighting of a monarch adult. Oh, 2026. That's why there aren't that many. So let's go back all the way to, let's see what's going on in 2020. And yeah, after June 23rd in 2020. There we go. That's going to be a lot of monarchs. So I'm zooming in. I'm going to get to Kenosha one way or the other. Ah, I zoomed in too far. Bear with me, everybody. Okay, there's Wisconsin. This is my Wisconsin geography lesson here. Um, okay, we got Milwaukee. Let's find Kenosha.
There you are on the very right-hand side, right on Lake Michigan,
Oh, perfect.
above Waukegan. There you go.
There we go. Okay. Oh, so there weren't that many contributions in Kenosha in 2020. That's interesting. Um,
My goal for Kenosha this year is to try to get at least 50 people participating. And I know that's an aggressive goal, but why not have it, right?
I think that'd be great. This was probably you, Marcia, back in 2020.
Maybe.
Let's see what people did last year. So I'm checking 2025. Wow, there was only like one contribution in 2025 in Kenosha. So you guys need to go on the map. Because the rest of Wisconsin has contributions. I bet Madison, yeah, Madison's putting you guys to shame. But that makes sense. It's HQ for this project. People aren't really submitting photos. I guess because they fly. It's kind of hard to get pictures. That's why the pictures aren't required. But I think the pictures are nice when you can get them. Oh, this is nice. Saw a beautiful female that landed on my butterfly weed, stayed a while, and then headed over to the milkweed. Lovely. So anyway, I could explore these maps all day. But I think it's really cool because you can see that they have the colors by date. And you can see if the migration is getting earlier or if it's later than in past years. And I think that's particularly important because we want to be very sensitive to the phenology of it all, so the study of the seasons. And we want to know if the seasons are changing because of factors like climate change, if the seasons are getting wonkier. Like when we have the boomerang effect of it being really hot, then suddenly really cold, more so than in past years, that can sometimes confuse migratory species and make it harder for them. So understanding that is super important. So there are all sorts of different things. So let's click play. So you can see it's pretty cool how they do this. Like you can see it happen over time as it gets later. So we'll just do that one more time. Pretty cool. And once again, with these citizen science efforts, they are better when more people contribute more frequently. So if you all want to really map what's going on in Kenosha this year, I think that'd be really cool. If we get all 50 of the folks that Marsha wants to recruit, you could be the best Journey Northers ever. So I'll go back to my slides. So yeah, if you get lost or confused with this project, everything you need to understand it is on SciStarter. We have a summary of the project on SciStarter profile, and then it's pretty straightforward to contribute. But I just wanted to informally pull everybody to get you in the monarch watching mindset. When was the last time you saw an adult monarch? Was it today? Was it this week, this month, this year? Not this year, but you've seen one, never seen one. I want to know where everybody's at. Marsha, what about you? When was the last time you saw an adult monarch?
Last fall, I had some late monarchs that I don't know if they had eggs on the milkweed, but I definitely had some late in the season, later than I expected.
Interesting. That's really cool. I saw a monarch this month. Earlier this month, not this week, but it was earlier this month. But that's cool that you saw some last year and like maybe you'll see some again this year. Ooh, somebody had something in the chat. Not this year, but you have seen them. Very cool. Well, I'll be looking at the map for Journey North this year and keeping my eye on Kenosha. So I want to see how much everybody observes. Um, so just some tips and tricks. So a viceroy has a black line crossing the post-medium wing, so you can see that's what it looks like there. So it's a little different from a monarch. It's okay if you end up reporting some viceroys. Um, but in case you get really into this, I think it can be fun to start learning how to identify your Lepidoptera. So Lepidoptera is the scientific name for moths and butterflies. And I'm a huge Lepidoptera enthusiast, and my favorite butterflies are definitely monarch butterflies. I'm actually here. I'll go ahead and show you guys. I'll stop sharing for a second. I have in my closet my monarch butterfly costume. Um, so I don't know if you all can see with my Zoom background. Oh, I'll turn off the background just for a second. But I think it's always very fun to dress up. That's my go-to costume is dressing up like a monarch butterfly. And if you all end up getting really enthusiastic about monarchs yourselves, you can dress up like one too. Okay, it's not letting me turn the background off. But anyway, just to prove my monarch enthusiasm, that's the costume. Um,
I love it.
yes, and monarchs are, I think Journey North is great because they have a lot of resources to learn about the different types of monarchs, and the different types of butterfly and Lepidoptera. So, you got your painted lady, this is the actual size versus your monarch. So, I recommend even just printing out what the different types of butterflies look like and having it with you when you go observe. So you have your monarch versus your queen. Ah, so beautiful. So you might be wondering, okay, what are my next steps? I think just getting outside and being curious. We mentioned all the resources we have at SciStarter to facilitate these things, but also if you need anything at all, you can just email me, info@scistarter.org. I check that inbox and I'll be here to help you. You have a great advocate in Marcia. And we have a special kit. A lot of libraries will distribute it, but you can also make it yourself. And we have our Observing Pollinators kit. It's optimized for the Great Sunflower Project that Marcia mentioned, which is for all pollinators, not just the ones that Journey North has you focus on, or the migratory species Journey North has you focus on. But I really love the coloring sheet that we have with it and the tools that we recommend you bring into the field, like your binoculars, and different identification tools. So if you're going out and doing Journey North anyway, you can also do additional citizen science projects like the Great Sunflower Project, or iNaturalist, or any of the other ones that get you outside. I think just going to SciStarter and starting to explore the Finder and finding the right project for you is the best way to do it. Um, so that was big. I wanted to keep the rest of it more Q&A, but that's the basic gist. It's just like get outside, try to spot some monarch butterflies, and add them to Journey North, and also other migratory species on Journey North's list. Take pictures if you can, but if you can't, that's totally okay. I also, shameless plug, on Thursday, NASA is going to be joining SciStarter twice at 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. At 5 and 8 Central, for an online event where you can participate and help them find some comments. So you can do it completely from your computer. Cool SciStarter NASA event. So if y'all are interested in that, please come out. But otherwise, I hope that you all do Journey North this year and help us spot some migratory species. I'll pause here and see if anybody has any comments, questions, initial things that they're really eager to go out and spot. Marcia, what about you? Anything on your mind about Journey North?
Yeah, I do. And in order to track my goal to see if we can get 50 people to participate in the Kenosha area, I have a little Google form that I would like people to just take, 1 minute to fill out, to let us know that you would like to participate. And so I would like to share my screen. Let's see. Okay. So, to help me find if we can get 50 people, um, I would like you to register to tell me that you are participating, and this will be at the tinyurl.com/KPL Science. And so if you can do that, this will be one extra step in addition to you going to journeynorth.org and setting up your account. Um, and I did want to just highlight too, actually, I want to go back. Let's see, how do I
And
go
actually,
back?
wait, if you want to leave that URL up real quick, I'm gonna message all 162 SciStarter users in the Kenosha area and tell them to
Okay.
fill out your form.
Ah, okay. There it is. And then I just have one slide, and I really want to highlight some of the other migratory species besides the monarch, because in the next couple weeks, it's going to be prime time for those particular migratory species. And Kenosha, Wisconsin in general, but Kenosha is an important pathway because migratory birds often follow water as their they're guides from above. And so they will follow the Mississippi River, they'll follow Lake Michigan. And so we are in the pathway for quite a few of these species. And so let's see if I can go back. Um, I guess not. How do I do that?
I think if you click again, it should work.
For some reason, I have the pen on. I think that was my problem. Okay. So, coming up soon is going to be barn swallows, hummingbirds. I didn't get on this slide. Hummingbirds, I think they're doing 5 or 6 different varieties of hummingbirds. In our area, the ruby throat hummingbird is very popular, and there are many, many people who watch and feed hummingbirds. So this might be something that you're already doing, and you could help the scientists over at UW-Madison. Let's see. And there's a couple other things too. Certain blooms, and obviously the blooms of milkweed that you might see, and the different varieties. So if you check out the Journey North, even do that even before you see monarchs, because there's a couple other species that you can help identify and report in. And if you stop at the library, we are giving away some little participation prizes, some monarchs, and some stickers and things like that, just as a fun incentive to get you to participate and to fill out the Google form to tell us that you're one of our 50. All right, I'm going to sh stop sharing now. Stop.
I just blasted the form out to all 162 Kenoshans on SciStarter.
Awesome. And yeah, so I'm really excited to do this one. I think it's really exciting knowing that our scientists are right here, even in Wisconsin. We've done quite a few other science projects in the past, but I think this is the very first one that is giving science directly to scientists at UW-Madison. So, um, any comments or questions that we can answer?
And it's okay if it doesn't come to you right away. You know where to find me. You know how to find Marcia at the library. We're here for you as you go on this science journey.
Okay, well, I think that is it then. Caroline, do you have any closing comments?
No, I'd love to see y'all at the NASA event that I put in the chat later this week. But otherwise, I'm excited to monitor the Journey North maps and see a lot of Canossians observing. And thank you, Marcia, for all you do. Your library is
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for the people attending, and also for the people who are going to watch this video in the future. I know that a lot of times we have many, many people watch this video on YouTube. So thank you to those people in the future who are going to watch this video. Thank you for contributing to our local community science. And I'm going to end the recording and we can be done. So
Bye, everyone.